talking about?
We gotta keep it a little quiet, cause
We saw A Quiet Place Day 1.
Yeah, the first day of A Quiet. I'm just joking, yo.
Yeah, yes, sir.
But yeah, as y'all know, A Quiet Place Day 1 just came out
this past weekend.
Yep, this past weekend.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we figured, why not review it, man? We haven't done a movie review in a while.
We haven't done a movie review in, I think, over a month.
Yeah.
Probably well over that, actually.
The last one was probably Bad Boys.
Yeah, it was actually.
Yeah, so we figured we watched Quiet Day. Now, A Quiet Day, Day 1.
A Quiet Day, Day 1?
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Yeah. We figured,
Quiet Place Day 1, my fault, yo.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, we figured that we would come back, with a new movie review. And what better way to come back with arguably one of the most anticipated movies of the summer.
Yeah, most def.
For sure. Starring Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn.
Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things?
Yes, sir. Stranger Things fame. That's, kind of his breakout role. That's kind of like what kind of put him on in the public eye. And for good reason. He was arguably one of, if not the best part of that season. That being Stranger Things Season 4, which premiered in 2022. Right. Still waiting on the final season. Should be coming out sometime next year. And Lupita Nyong'o, obviously, she needs no introduction. She's basically a legend of her generation at this point. Whether we're talking about 12 Years a Slave, I think that won her first Oscar, I think.
Right, even though it should have been Black Panther.
That's a whole different discussion. 12 Years a Slave, Black Panther, Star Wars. She's done a lot. Yeah, she was Maz.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So Lupita definitely at this point has earned her stripes. She's earned her place in Hollywood. And with this movie right here, she's kind of tackling something a little bit different because, as y'all know, the Quiet Place movies, the big selling point is that they're aliens from wherever, hasn't been revealed yet, that are very sensitive to sound. So they rely on sound and they rely on noise in order to I guess you could say attack and or find their victims.
Right.
And so this movie was really kind of like a good showcase for any actor in terms of like their range. Because, when we think about acting, we think about everything. We think about sight, we think about, sound and things like that. And so it's really interesting whenever an actor can rely necessarily on their sight and or their voice, because that's a whole different level of like emotional range and expression that not every actor is capable of.
Right. And one thing I did like about the Quiet Day as a whole is the whole concept of it.
Quiet Day?
Quiet Place as a whole. Every day is quiet essentially. But A Quiet Place as a whole, directed and created by John Krasinski.
Yes, sir. First two were great.
After I saw this movie, I did a whole bunch of research on A Quiet Place. Saw the first two movies, and I was afraid to talk all day today. I'm not even about to lie to you.
Yeah, because the movies are very good at building that tension because they go so long in the movies without really saying much of anything. So whenever they do so much as utter a sound, it's just that much more impactful because you're like, oh, is the creature gonna hear? Right. Whatever the case may be. Quiet Place, the first one came out in 2018, was a really big surprise. It was actually a bit of a cultural phenomenon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I remember seeing that back when I was still, at Trident. And I remember seeing this movie and just the impact that it had across social media. I remember the SNL skit that Donald Glover did based on it.
Kanye Place?
Yeah, Kanye Place. I haven't watched that in a while. Need to go back. Also, speaking of Donald Glover, he's getting ready to release a new album this month, I think.
Yeah, good for him.
Bando Stone in the New World. I'll definitely be checking that out.
Definitely.
Donald's one of my favorite actors, but that's neither here nor there. So, yeah, I remember in 2018 when this movie came out, it took the world by surprise for a multitude of reasons. John Krasinski at this point was kind of more so known as being Jim from The Office, I think, which, don't get on me in the comments. Still never seen that show. That's just, I never got around to it one of these days.
Same.
But yeah, so he was mostly known for that. He was more so known as a comedic actor. And so this movie was a little bit of a chance for him to kind of show a little bit of his emotional, acting chops, and he absolutely delivered. Not just that, but his work behind the camera as well was solid. Of course, his chemistry with Emily Blunt on screen, that being his actual wife. And so overall,
okay,
yeah. So overall, it was just a very, very good and solid entry in the horror movie space of the time.
Right.
And I feel like A Quiet Place Part 2, that came out in 2021, I believe.
Yeah,
and I
2021.
think that also...
No, 2020.
Was it 2020?
It was 2020.
Nah, for real?
Yeah, it was 2020.
Okay, yeah, I got
it
you.
It came out on May... No? Okay, it was 21, my bad.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember seeing it in theaters, because at the time... when it came out, it would have, the theaters would have been shut down or whatever.
Right. Yeah, it was May 28, 2021.
Okay, but yeah, I remember seeing that too. I was a big fan of it as well. I thought that was a solid follow-up from where the last one had picked up with, Emily Blunt and her children kind of braving the world.
Right.
Kind of leaving the farm that they were on.
Right.
And kind of just going out and seeing if there are any survivors, if there's anything that humanity has established as far as like hope or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So yeah, and John Krasinski once again was behind the camera. His character was killed at the end of the first one, so once again, helming it from a behind the scenes perspective, did a very good job. Again, another solid entry.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, and with this one right here, as the title implies, it's day one. So this is the very beginning of the apocalypse. This is the very beginning of everything that we see transpire in those first two Quiet Place movies. And so what really makes it interesting is seeing how people are kind of adapting and, kind of trying to learn to understand what's going on around them. Because in the first two movies, it's already like maybe a year or so in to everything going on.
Yeah, like 470
something like that.
It's in the 470 days, so yeah, about a year.
Yeah, so
a little over a year.
So yeah, that's the thing about those movies, that they kind of start already in the thick of everything that's gone on. But this movie is interesting because again, it's the very beginning.
Wait, I lied. I think the first movie was like 89 days later.
Oh,
so a little over 3 months later.
Okay, but regardless, yeah, it was still like
in total, part 1 and part 2 were 470 some days in total. But
yeah. So,
this one.
But yeah, for sure, it's
after.
But the point being is that it takes place in a time where people have already kind of started to learn how to adapt. So day one, really going in, I was very interested to see like what they would do as far as like these characters reacting to this threat, reacting to this apocalypse, this sudden change and sort of uprooting of like normal society. And I thought that was conveyed very well.
Yeah, I agree. It was very like Last of Us-esque.
Oh yeah, they definitely took some influence from Last of Us.
Because especially trying to traverse the whole world and New York in this case, with Lupita Nyong'o who plays Sam or Samira. Yeah. And also with Joseph Quinn, who plays Eric, Jimon Hansu. He makes a return from part 2.
Yeah.
After they did my boy dirty in part 2.
Oh, they for sure did. But I mean, what do you expect?
It's Jimon Hansu. Super underrated actor.
For sure. He was great in Guardians.
Yep.
A little bit of time that he was in it, but yeah.
Yep. God bless him. You know what I'm saying? All-star for real. And just seeing how they like had to traverse everything, like, because you had like a small town in part 1 and, just in part 1. And seeing how they had to they pretty much built civilization there essentially. Yeah. They built defenses and everything, so they had time to prepare. Just like you said, in day one, they don't really have that much time to prepare.
Yeah, they're very on the fly with it, which adds a different sort of level of suspense to the same concept, which I think is very admirable of these movies.
Right, I agree. Because like I said with The Last of Us, having to outmaneuver the clickers in there. Like that's why this movie, I like these movies because it's so unpredictable, you know? So
they always have a way of keeping you on the edge of your seat because you just know, even if you don't see the creature, you don't hear them, you know that they're right around the corner. Just the slightest pin drop, somebody can get snatched up, and that happens plenty of times throughout the movie. And not to cut you off, another way I saw Last of Us influence low-key was when Sam and Eric were running through the city and they were being chased by all of these aliens and Eric throws a brick into a car to distract them and get them off their tail, which I thought that's very reminiscent. Like, because you know, if you play Last of Us, you know that that's what you do. You kind of like throw stuff to kind of distract clickers or whoever, whatever stalkers, kind of get them off your tail a little bit. So I really like that added aspect of it. It really did feel Last of Us-esque.
That's another debate. Would you rather live in a Quiet Place world or Last of Us?
I don't know, honestly. I think either way.
That's a good debate because y'all already know. Like down below, we'll discuss it
For sure, definitely.
Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all already know what to do. But the thing is, like, that's one thing I did like, that you could distract the Death Angels. That's what they call them.
Okay.
The monsters. You could distract the Death Angels in different ways, and with throwing a brick into the car window, or really just like hiding behind like a waterfall or like a fountain in this case.
Yeah.
Like I really did enjoy those scenes, the chase scenes, like especially when they're in like that sewer, or it was a subway system, and next thing you know, they see like a Death Angel at the top, like hiding on the ceiling or sleeping on the ceiling there. And Eric starts freaking out. Like, the whole suspense of the movie is why I enjoyed it. You know?
For sure, most definitely. And that's the thing that really makes these movies, you know, rewarding time and time again, is just like seeing how these different characters are going to handle these different scenarios in different ways.
Right.
And you know, of course, to add to, you know, a little bit of the backdrop of the movie, Sam is a cancer patient who was terminal, so she doesn't really have a whole lot of time to live. So the plot of the movie is essentially, you know, her being in New York where she grew up. She wants to get pizza at this pizzeria that her and her dad used to go to before he passed away of the same illness. And so she has a support animal, cat, that, you know, kind of gets... I guess I'll let you speak on that. I guess I'll let you speak on the cat. You don't have a cat, so you don't understand how they really.
But I did have a dog.
But you don't know how a cat is, though.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. But the thing is, like, that cat was kind of like a guide in a sense.
Low key, yeah.
Like, and the thing is, like,
that cat was almost like had heightened intelligence,
right?
Because it's like every time, and the cat's name is Frodo, by the way. Which, you know, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you see that nod right there. Yeah. Sam and Frodo. But yeah, it seemed like every time Frodo ran away and got lost, quote unquote, he always found his way back to Sam.
Right.
To the point where I'm like, how smart is this cat?
Right, that's what I'm thinking. This cat was getting on my nerve because the thing is, later in the movie, spoilers.
I mean,
more or less spoilers. The cat wanders into the crash site of where in one of the meteor crash sites where they emerged from, and Eric is just following. I'm like, bruh, you just...
Eric being a law student from England. Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm thinking, Eric, just leave this cat alone. But the next thing you know, Eric finds a big queen-looking version of the rest of the Death Angels. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And
he actually managed to rescue Frodo.
Right, for some odd reason.
And that kind of endears Sam, because at first Sam is like kind of like depicted as sort of a loner. She's kind of like by herself in the support group that she's in. She doesn't want to talk to anybody. You know, she's kind of accepted her fate, albeit very begrudgingly. And the plot of the movie is sort of like Sam and Eric kind of like open up to each other, and Eric kind of reminds Sam to live and enjoy the time that she has left. You know,
because her biggest what's the word I'm looking for? Motivation.
Yeah.
Is that she wants to relive her childhood one more time.
Yeah, she wants to feel alive again while she still, you know, can.
Right. And I thought that was a really good, you know, at first I thought it was kind of like weird, like, okay, you going to risk your life. I didn't realize she had cancer at first because I came into the movie late. But then after like rewatching a little bit of it, I'm like, okay, I get it now. But like when I first saw it, I was kind of thinking like, you really risking your life for pizza. But next thing you know, she it fleshes out why and why it's so important to her and
For
why
sure.
she's willing to do this. Because I was like, I get that. That's sweet.
Yeah, it made perfect sense, in the context of like her situation and what was going on with her. And then you have Eric, this law student who's a fish out of water, being from
Right.
England, he isn't from New York or whatever the case may be. He's scared out of his mind, terrified about just about anything to do with the Death Angel. He's terrified. He has basically panic attacks.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of like these two sort of learn how to look out for each other and kind of help each other in different ways. Eric helps Sam more so remind, he more so helps remind Sam that life is still worth living no matter how much time you have left.
Right.
And she teaches Eric to kind of be brave and kind of just keep moving forward.
Right.
And I think that dynamic worked very well. I like that it wasn't like a romance or anything like
Thank
that.
God, because I agree. Like I really agree because that by the end of the movie, I was like, this is sweet. I like this.
Yeah, it was really, they have a really, not to spoil anything, but they have a really touching way of kind of wrapping up their story and their arc in a very satisfying way.
Right.
And just, the movie also is very well paced. It has great character work in the small moments that, we get to hear them speak to each other.
Right.
It really just like, it doesn't overstate its welcome
Right.
too much. It just does what it needs to do. And I think that it was just overall a really solid addition to this franchise that doesn't seem to be slowing down whatsoever.
Nah, not at all. Because I was surprised when they brought back. Well, this is my first movie that I saw, but I kept seeing a whole bunch of the previews and commercials and stuff. But y'all get it though. I was kind of surprised they were bringing another one back, but it was a good idea to show like, hey, what would everybody do on the first day?
Yeah, that was a really, because sometimes Hollywood kind of like milks a franchise and kind of shoehorns stuff that really doesn't make sense. I think that this was a story that actually was more than worth telling, and it was a good idea.
Right, and at the beginning of part 2, like you did see, the first day, from Lee's perspective, from like a small town perspective, which was like I guess in the first one there were like 3 confirmed being around Lee and his family.
Yeah.
But in this city aspect of it, I thought that was that was a little bit scary because the thing is
They're everywhere.
And
Yeah, because there's a lot of shots in the movie where like you get that overhead view. You just see them just climbing up buildings everywhere.
Right.
Like they look like a bunch of spiders.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was like, golly. And the thing is, you don't know where they're at.
Yeah.
You don't know where they're at. You don't know where they're coming from. All you can do is just not say anything and hope for the best.
Yeah, basically.
Right. And like I said, that's really why I enjoyed this movie. Why it was sounding cosine so scary to me at first. And,
because we, full disclosure, we saw the movie together yesterday with some friends, and that wasn't scary.
So in this scene, she had just woke up, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm be real, if I was in this world and I would have gotten killed in my sleep because that thing is I snore loud, so God, you know what I'm saying,
Wake yourself up.
But the thing is, she was asleep, right? And then she wakes up. Oh, the day is normal. I'm thinking, okay, this is nice. And next thing you know, a death angel appears and just jump scares you out of nowhere.
Out of the window, yeah.
Yeah, I missed and said some choice words, and I was like, because. Boy, I'm not a big horror movie fan, but I do like these. Like, I do like these. I just don't like the horror movies that, like,
kind of gore and all that.
Or more or less just, like, revel in the fact that it's gory.
Oh, yeah, I feel you.
Like the Saw movies.
No, yeah, for sure. Might have to review those at some point.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, maybe Halloween. Figure it out.
All right. I guess.
Halloween special.
Okay.
But yeah, no, for sure. Definitely, these movies haven't shown any sign of slowing down. I wouldn't mind another one.
Yeah,
This is one of the very few horror franchises that's gone multiple entries, and they've all been good.
Oh yeah,
because usually horror has a reputation of each sequel it gets worse.
And overstaying as well.
Yeah, exactly. It gets more and more ridiculous. Because if you look at the Friday the 13th franchise after a while. It just got more and more ridiculous to the point.
Cyber Jason?
Yeah, Jason in space. Jason versus Freddy, which to be fair, people wanted to see that. Jason escapes from hell over and over again. Just a bunch of
And with the Predators franchise.
Yeah.
Alien franchise.
But yeah, this is one of the very few franchises, especially in modern horror, that's really managed to like keep up that consistency and that quality. So I'm really not mad at seeing another one, honestly. I won't be mad at another one. Definitely not. Solid movie, solid character work. And the thing is, we don't really get to know a lot about the characters, but we know just enough to make us care about them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And a lot of that has to do with how strong the performances are. Like Joseph Quinn as Eric, he made me care about him, even though we don't really know much about him, just because of how strong his performance was.
Right, I agree.
Like he earned his spot right now. Like right now, he's on fire in Hollywood, and he definitely, showcases why that is. Lupita, she's basically a legend at this point. We expect her to give a great performance, but in a way, I almost feel like he was kind of the emotional center of this movie in a way.
Right, yeah, he was.
Yeah, he kind of was sort of the emotional foundation of everything.
Because I think Sam had was coming from the standpoint of, oh well, I'm about to die anyway.
Yeah, she was very cold. She was very cold at first, but she learned to open up again.
Right. Because all she wanted was just that pizza and,
to relive that childhood that she had. Yeah.
And overall, this was a good movie. I'd give it a solid, it was an 8 out of 10.
I agree.
It didn't blow me away.
But it was a solid time at the theater. I would watch it again.
Yeah. It was. I'll give it a low heat. It was heat.
Same here.
Well, not low heat, but it was mid-tier heat.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I would recommend it for sure, especially you horror fans out there.
Yep.
Yeah, horror so far is off to a good start. I think this is the only, we got Night Swim. We saw Night Swim earlier this year. Let me review Night Swim. You don't even have to review it.
No, I'll review it with you. I want to.
Let me review Night Swim. Give me that. I need it.
I got you. No.
That movie, if y'all haven't seen it, that is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life. Shout out to our friend Ty for recommending that movie. I loved every single second of it for the wrong reasons, but we'll talk about that in our review for sure. Definitely. But yeah, no, I would highly recommend Quiet Place Part 2. Oh, not Part 2. Well, yeah, that one and A Quiet Place Day 1. And just be on the lookout, for all things movie reviews, whether it be, horror. We definitely can have some more horror.
Yeah, definitely.
As fall starts to, as fall starts to slowly but surely approach, we're definitely going to get in here and review some of the horror movies as they come out. Because, that's what the people want. Spooky season to be here before you know it. As the kids say.
Spooky season. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah, spooky season. I'm not scared or anything of horror movies.
Yeah, I ain't scared of no ghosts. Nah, I ain't.
I really like the girls. I was playing. Ghostbusters reference. But
yeah.
But yeah, we definitely got more videos coming out for y'all.
We got more videos in the tuck for sure.
Yeah, we got.
Stay tuned.
Yes, sir. We got more movie reviews. We're gonna talk about Breaking Bad soon.
Yes, sir.
TV shows. Hopefully, we talk about The Wire soon.
I'm
not. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start watching The Wire soon. Just so you know, I'll watch that first episode just while I'm watching it.
Right. The same thing with me listening to Playboy Cardi.
There you go.
There we go. Whole lot of Reddit isn't actually even that bad, but yeah,
fire.
Nah, but overall, movie was great. Like I said, Heat 8 out of 10.
Yes, sir. I pretty much have nothing else to say. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Might be one of my favorite theater experiences of the year.
Yeah. Same here. I'm not even a big horror fan like that.
There you go.
But yes, sir. Shoot, I've been Jay.
This has been Rodney.
We're LATD. Look at the details, y'all. Peace. Oh, remember, like, comment, subscribe. Peace. God bless.